Welcome to my bold and beautiful today's show channel. I hope today fantastic for everyone. Please hit the subscribes button and give this video thumbs up. The one-sided love triangle of Ridge identified the reasons why Brooke consistently captures his heart. Ridge does not consider Taylor when he is with Brooke, however, Brooke plagues him when he is with Taylor. Ridge's heart reveals the truth. Brooke remains his destiny despite Taylor reunion. The eternal love triangle on the bold and the beautiful has undergone another dramatic transformation. However, a revealing pattern has emerged over the course of decades of Ridge Forrester's correspondence between Brooke Logan and Taylor Hayes. Despite Ridge's efforts to establish a future with Taylor in the wake of the Forrester Creations takeover crisis, history reveals a truth that he is unable to conceal. A decades-long triangle is defined by a one-sided obsession. When Ridge is with Brooke, he's entirely present, consumed by their connection and never giving Taylor a second thought. However, Brooke remains a persistent presence in his life when he is with Taylor. This troubling imbalance explains why, despite his best intentions with Taylor, Ridge inexorably finds his way back to Brooke time and again. The pattern has been consistent throughout 8 marriages, innumerable breakups, and 30-plus years of drama. Ridge may rush to Taylor when Brooke injures him, as he did following the recent Forrester takeover orchestrated by Hope and Carter. However, his heart reveals the truth about who occupies his thoughts. History doesn't lie, Ridge's pattern of returning to Brooke. This is not mere conjecture, the evidence extends over decades. Ridge married Brooke in 1994, when Taylor was presumed deceased, and referred to her as the true love of his life. Despite Taylor's miraculous return in 1995, Ridge initially remained with Brooke until external circumstances obliged him to return to Taylor. The conflicted feelings were obvious even then. Fast forward to 2006, when Taylor's confession of a past infidelity gave Ridge the perfect justification to return to Brooke, revealing his heart had been with her all along. Again in 2011, after briefly dating Taylor, he rushed back to Brooke once Thomas's lie was exposed, demonstrating where his primary attachment truly lay. Now in 2025, we're seeing the same script play out. After Brooke's involvement in the Forrester Creations takeover drama, Ridge has once again sought solace in Taylor's arms. But if history teaches us anything, it's that this reunion has an expiration date. Taylor deserves more than being Ridge's second choice. Even now, as Taylor celebrates what she believes is a conclusive victory over her rival, the writing is on the wall. Sources close to the show disclose Brooke is already planning a heartfelt plea to win Ridge back, and based on history, it's only a matter of time before he wavers. The recent confrontation where Taylor discovered Brooke making another play for Ridge highlights the never-ending cycle. While Taylor might be furious at her rival's persistence, perhaps she should instead question why Ridge can't completely commit to her without Brooke's shadow looming over them. Steffi Forrester continues encouraging her parents' reunion, deluded by her own desire to see her family whole again. But at what cost to her mother's dignity? Taylor is a successful psychiatrist who has assisted countless patients. Shouldn't she recognize this unhealthy pattern in her own relationship? The psychological pattern that keeps Ridge trapped. For all her faults, Brooke represents adventure, passion, and the unpredictable to Ridge qualities that seduce him back time and again despite the stability and understanding Taylor offers. This explains why when he's with Brooke, he's entirely immersed in their world, while his time with Taylor often feels like a temporary shelter from the storm. Even Catherine Kelly Lang acknowledged the triangle's staying power in a recent interview, calling it magic, though she didn't directly address why Ridge continues returning to Brooke. The answer seems apparent through the pattern of his behavior. Brooke is his true north, while Taylor represents the safe harbor he seeks when things get rough. The Forrester family dynamics fueling the triangle. The current situation is further complicated by Steffi and Thomas Forrester's long-standing desire to see their parents reunited. Their manipulation has played a role in previous reunions. Recall when Thomas faked a CPS call to frame Brooke and drive Ridge to Taylor? Even when that deception was exposed, Ridge eventually found his way back to Taylor anyway, demonstrating how external factors continue to influence his romantic decisions. Meanwhile, Brooke's daughter Hope Logan has been ensnared in her own romantic drama with Carter Walton, adding another layer of tension to the Forrester-Logan feud. The company takeover that drove Ridge back to Taylor this time has made Hope a pariah at Forrester Creations. Despite this, Brooke remains determined to fight for Ridge, suggesting she knows something Taylor doesn't, that Ridge's heart ultimately belongs to her. What fans are saying about Ridge's divided heart? Longtime fans of the program have noticed this pattern for years. On social media, viewers frequently point out that Ridge never mentions Taylor when things are fine with Brooke, yet he can't stop comparing Taylor to Brooke when they're together. This one-sided obsession has led many to question if Ridge genuinely loves either woman, or if he's simply incapable of being alone. He's been doing this dance for decades, one fan commented online. When will Taylor realize she deserves better than being his backup plan? Another noted, notice how Ridge promptly ran to Taylor after the fight with Brooke. Classic pattern, he employs Taylor as a comfort blanket but always returns to his destiny. Will this time be different? History suggests otherwise. As Steffi celebrates her parents' reunion, longtime viewers know better than to expect this contentment to last. The dramatic repercussions from the Forrester Creations takeover may have driven Ridge back to Taylor for now, but the real test will come when Brooke's latest reunion plea forces him to confront his true feelings. For Taylor's sake, we hope she finally realizes she merits someone who thinks of her and only her when they're together. Because if history is any indication, Ridge will never be that man. The Brooke-Ridge connection that never fades. Perhaps most telling is how swiftly Ridge forgives Brooke for transgressions that would end most relationships. From affairs to business betrayals, he may storm off to Taylor temporarily, but the pull of his bond with Brooke inexorably draws him back. It's a connection that transcends logic, one that both Ridge and Brooke have characterized as destiny throughout the years. As Brooke prepares to make her case for reconciliation, the true question isn't whether Ridge will eventually return to her. History suggests that's inevitable. The question is how much heartbreak Taylor will endure before she ultimately walks away from this toxic triangle for good. For now, Ridge and Taylor are relishing their reunion, with Steffi playing cheerleader. But in the background, Brooke waits patient and confident, knowing that sooner or later, Ridge's heart will guide him back to where it truly belongs. Taylor ambushes Brooke backstage. Fashion show kicks off. The Bold and the Beautiful reveal that Taylor Hayes will ambush Brooke Logan backstage while the fashion show starts off. It'll be a busy day for everyone at Forrester Creations since they're about to exhibit their latest couture designs and deliver a buzzworthy event. There'll be some special guests who make appearances to help celebrate this special occasion. So let's speak about the VIPs. Reality TV personalities Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag will be on site for the festivities, so interact with Steffi Forrester, Will Spencer, Electra Forrester and more. In addition to Heidi and Spencer, viewers will see content creator Mokel Washington appear as part of the fun. There'll be a ton of influencers, photographers, news correspondents and models around to help make this the fashion event of the century. B&B even has a crossover with The Young and the Restless on the horizon since Christine Blair will take a trip to Los Angeles for the ultimate fashion showcase. Christine will be pleased to support Eric Forrester and the rest of the Forrester family as they prepare to show off their latest couture offerings. While Brooke gets ready for the event in a room backstage, Taylor will barge in. It turns out Taylor will commence a confrontation with Brooke, one that'll leave them both trapped behind the door Taylor slams. Although Taylor won't intend to lock them up together, Brooke will blame her anyway. This couldn't happen at a worse moment since Brooke and Taylor will go missing right as the fashion show begins. That's going to contribute to the conflict that Taylor and Brooke already face on any given day. Ridge Forrester is typically at the center of their feud, so Brooke and Taylor will undoubtedly clash over him in Thursday's B&B episode. Taylor will make more predictions about Ridge's future being with her instead of Brooke, so they'll share some tense moments as they hurl insults and accusations around. The Bold and the Beautiful predict Brooke and Taylor's face-off will heat up as the week winds down. Fashion show frenzy. Taylor's bold move against Brooke revealed. The Bold and the Beautiful and updates tease that Taylor Hayes is poised to corner Brooke Logan in the backstage area of a fashion show. It appears that the two will find themselves trapped behind a locked door, so let's conjecture on the intense drama that is likely to unfold. The show released 2 different preview videos. CBS's soap opera has unveiled 2 distinct preview videos for the week of April 21st to 25th, with one explicitly highlighting the upcoming fashion events. This particular promo merits our attention as it offers significant hints regarding the future for Brooke and Taylor. Recently, Taylor witnessed Brooke strutting around Forrester Creations in lingerie, obviously anticipating Ridge Forrester. In response, Taylor cautioned her competitor that there would be no more fittings in the Brooke's bedroom work area with her erstwhile partner. Taylor believes it's time for Brooke to let go and acknowledge that Ridge has moved on. Taylor has a lot of rage built up over the years-long Ridge rivalry. No matter what Ridge truly desires, it's evident that Taylor is filled with intense anger that could erupt at any moment. As the fashion show is about to commence, Taylor will confront Brooke once again. Backstage, Brooke will be in a robe when Taylor confronts her and forcefully closes the door to prevent her from escaping. In the weekly preview video for B&B, Brooke appears quite alarmed as she approaches the door, inquiring, "What have you done?" This suggests that Taylor's action might inadvertently trap them inside. Brooke could come to the realization that they are locked in and hold Taylor liable for her reckless behavior. The event will be busy and noisy. The two could be trapped for some time. Given the bustling and noisy atmosphere of the event, Brooke might fret that no one will find them anytime soon. This could lead to her fretting about missing the entire fashion show, and if that occurs, she'll likely blame Taylor for it. Brooke will be particularly irritable if she's intended to walk the runway at some point. However, it's possible that Ridge or someone else will ultimately come to rescue the two ladies still. Taylor and Brooke might find themselves stuck together for a while. While it would be great for them to take this opportunity to resolve their issues, it's more likely they'll spend their time bickering. They'll have some intense moments ahead. Ridge's one-sided love triangle exposed. Why Brooke always wins his heart. A deep dive analysis for over 3 decades. The central axis of The Bold and the Beautiful's emotional drama has been Ridge Forrester's unbreakable bond with Brooke Logan and the collateral emotional harm inflicted upon Taylor Hayes. Ridge's heart has long been a battlefield, but despite years of turmoil, detours, and even marriage to other women, the truth has remained unshaken. Brooke Logan is the gravitational pull Ridge cannot resist. The recent fashion show pandemonium and backstage ambush by Taylor Hayes not only reignite their rivalry but underscore a deeper, more psychologically entrenched cycle of obsession, longing, and misplaced hope. The current storyline doesn't just rehash an old rivalry, it lays exposed the lopsided foundation of a decade-spanning triangle that was never truly balanced in the first place. When Ridge is in Brooke's orbit, he forgets Taylor even exists. But when he's with Taylor, Brooke is the specter in the room, the echo in every pause, and the name on his lips in moments of vulnerability. This isn't simply storytelling, it's a study in emotional inertia, and Taylor has regrettably become the stand-in for Ridge's emotional recovery periods, the rebound after every explosion with Brooke. It's not just that Brooke always wins, it's that she doesn't have to fight fair, because the conflict was decided long ago in Ridge's heart. His loyalties may shift under duress, as seen during the Forrester Creations takeover drama where he leaned into Taylor's comforting presence, but his soul remains tethered to Brooke. Taylor, the capable, compassionate psychiatrist, has repeatedly let herself believe that this time would be different, that Ridge was genuinely hers. Yet the pattern never fails to replicate itself. He turns to Taylor not out of passion, but out of anguish. He reaches for her not because she stimulates his soul, but because she soothes his wounds. That fundamental truth has defined every iteration of their love triangle. Whether it was in 1994 when Ridge clung to Brooke after Taylor was presumed dead, or in 2006 when Taylor's past sins gave Ridge a convenient excuse to run back to Brooke, or in 2011 when a scandal surrounding Thomas rekindled Ridge and Brooke's flame, the pattern is evident. Ridge only gravitates toward Taylor when Brooke pushes him away, but his heart is always packing a suitcase for a return journey to Logan territory. Even now, as Taylor endeavors to stake her claim once again during the fashion show frenzy, her confrontation with Brooke backstage seems less about Ridge and more about her own desperation. The locked room showdown, a symbolic imprisonment of their decades-long feud, showcases how Taylor's residual fury has reached a boiling point. Trapping Brooke behind that door, whether intentional or accidental, parallels Taylor's long-standing attempt to trap Ridge in a relationship that only exists in the vacuum left behind by his fallout with Brooke. The instant Ridge's anger cools, the winds always blow him back to the Logan matriarch. Brooke, poised in her robe backstage, exudes the same confidence she always has that Ridge will locate her, save her, choose her. And why wouldn't she believe that? History is on her side. Ridge forgives Brooke like a man under a thrall. Affairs, lies, betrayals, none of it stays. But Taylor's every misstep, every moment of doubt, becomes fuel for Ridge's exit. This leads to an agonizing truth Taylor has refused to accept: she's never been Ridge's first choice. Not when he's at ease, not when he's joyful. She's only his option when he's wounded, betrayed, or lost. That's why Steffi's blind support of her parents' reunion feels more like wishful thinking than a celebration of genuine love. Steffi, like Taylor, is emotionally invested in a version of her family that hasn't existed for decades. Her desire to see her parents reunite is anchored not in reality, but in nostalgia, and it risks her mother's dignity with every encouraging word. How can a woman who helps others see their emotional blind spots fail to recognize her own unhealthy pattern? It's tragic irony. Taylor, the therapist, cannot heal herself because she's trying to fix a man who doesn't want to be fixed, not in the manner she needs. Ridge's draw toward Brooke is not just about history or familiarity, it's psychological. Brooke ignites something untamed in Ridge. She represents a chaos he finds exhilarating, a life force that challenges and consumes him. With Brooke, Ridge is not just a man, he's a myth, a fantasy, a legend. Taylor makes him real, but Brooke makes him feel vibrant. That's why he brightens up in her presence, why he forgets the world when she's near. She's his storm, his inferno, his undoing. And in soap opera logic and often in life, it's the passion that endures, not the calm. Even Catherine Kelly Lang has acknowledged this magic between Ridge and Brooke, implying that whatever storyline they're in, their chemistry dominates. That magnetic pull is why Ridge's reunions with Taylor never stay. They're warm, they're comforting, but they're never electrifying. Let's not disregard the influence of the younger generation either. Thomas and Steffi have repeatedly manipulated circumstances to drive Ridge back toward Taylor, sometimes going so far as to fake evidence or deceive their own father. Yet no matter how many strings they pull, Ridge always cuts them the instant Brooke calls. Hope, on the other hand, has her own hands full with Carter Walton, which only adds more complexity to the Forresters versus Logan's feud. Hope's perceived betrayal during the Forrester Creations coup caused a seismic rupture, but it didn't cool Brooke's ambition. She's as determined as ever to reclaim Ridge, and frankly, she doesn't need to scheme to succeed. Her existence alone is often enough to unravel Ridge's current romance. She doesn't pursue. She waits. That patience comes from years of witnessing Ridge play the same game with the same predictable ending. Social media, too, has become a modern Greek chorus to this ancient serial saga. Fans recognize the pattern with caustic clarity. One comment explains it all: he never talks about Taylor unless Brooke hurts him. She's his band-aid, not his soulmate. Others echo the sentiment, pointing out that Ridge's proclamations of love for Taylor always feel like performance dutiful rather than desired. Some admirers have even called for Taylor to have a new love interest altogether, one who sees her without Brooke's shadow looming in the background. Until that occurs, viewers are left watching a brilliant, accomplished woman degrade herself for a man who can't stop looking over her shoulder for his ex-wife. This brings us to the central question: will it be different this time? Will Taylor's bold backstage ambush ultimately shift the narrative? Unlikely. Not when Ridge continues to make choices from a place of dread and familiarity. Not when Brooke remains the woman he calls destiny. Taylor's anger, while understandable, only further distances her from the emotional composure Ridge finds alluring in Brooke. And as the fashion show begins without Brooke or Taylor in place, all eyes will turn to Ridge not just to see which woman he discovers first, but to witness whether his choice will be driven by love or guilt. History, unfortunately, suggests the latter. He may surge through that backstage door to rescue Taylor and Brooke, but his eyes will lock with Brooke's first. They always do. This entire saga is about more than love, it's about legacy, identity, and the agonizing cycles we repeat in pursuit of validation. Taylor doesn't need Ridge. She never did. What she needs is closure. What she deserves is liberation. But she can't get either while she's still fighting Brooke over a man who already made his choice long ago. Ridge and Brooke's love story is a closed cycle, an infinite spiral of reunion and relapse. No matter how dramatic the detour, the destination never alters. As the week unfolds and the fashion show descends into chaos, what happens behind that closed door will matter less than what happens in Ridge's heart. Brooke may miss her runway moment, but she won't miss the opportunity to remind Ridge why he always comes back. And Taylor, no matter how fierce her confrontation, will depart that room with the same question that's haunted her for decades. Why am I never enough for him? The truth is brutal, and it's been glaring everyone in the face since the beginning. Brooke Logan doesn't have to recapture Ridge's heart because she never lost it.